Good morning. This lesson is for my Trig-Precalc class, but before I get started, I want to say I hope that everyone's doing all right up there. I'm not sure how I'm going to title this, but I'm going to title it how I titled the title. But what I am sure of is our one goal for the day. And our first goal is going to be to draw quadratics with negative b and or c values. And for now, a will equal 1, and it will have quadratics of the form x squared plus bx plus c. So again, the b could be negative, the c could be negative, or both the b and the c could be negative. We've already drawn quadratics when everybody's positive, so we'll do a little review here, right? And so when we're going to draw a quadratic, we need to figure out what numbers multiply to the c value, and which of these numbers or factors add or subtract to the b value. Here I have an example. I would like you to draw, or I'm going to draw x squared plus 5x plus 4. So let's just identify a couple things here really quick. 5 is my b value, 4 is my c value. What ways can I multiply to 4? Well, I can multiply the 4 by 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. So I answered the first question, what numbers multiply to the c value? Well, 1 and 4, 2 and 2. Which of these factors add to the b value? Well, 1 and 4 add the 5, and that's going to be the dimensions of my rectangle. So now we can draw our quadratic. So remember, we start off with x squared on the left, top left. I need a 1 by 4 that connects to the bottom right of my my x squared. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 1 by 4. Now I can extend the lines, and I will have drawn my quadratic. All right, and this has a length of x, and that's 1 and a 1 and a 1 and a 1. This has a length of x plus 4, and this has a length of, let me put the x's, and this has a length of x plus 1. So that was just a quick review on how we draw our quadratics. Now, there are 3 possibilities for quadratics when we have the negative b and or c value, and I have all 3 possibilities here. I have a positive b with a negative c, I have a negative b and a negative c, and a negative b and a positive c. And I have the same, well, relatively the same question underneath. How do you multiply to a negative c value and add or subtract to a positive b value? Well, the only way that you can multiply to a negative c value is we need a positive and a negative to get a negative c, right? So I have to have opposite valued factors, or opposite sign factors. And how do I subtract, because I have a positive and negative, how do I subtract to a positive number? Well, the positive number must be larger. The positive factor is larger. Okay. So I need a positive and a negative to multiply to a negative c, and the positive factor is larger to add to a positive b. All right. The next possibility, how do you multiply to a negative c? Again, I need a positive and a negative. And how do I add or subtract to a negative b? Well, to get the negative b, the negative factor has to be larger. The negative, we need a positive and negative to get the negative c, and the negative factor is larger. And the last possibility here is x squared minus b plus c. So how do you multiply to a positive c? Well, there's 2 ways that you can multiply to a positive c. You need a positive and a positive, or a negative and a negative. Now, this is how we're going to get to a positive c. Now the question is, how do I get to a negative b? And that's, both factors have to be negative. Alrighty. So these are our three possibilities. We figure out what numbers multiply to our C value, and then what factors are needed to add or subtract to the B value. And from there, we can build our picture of our quadratic. So let's just do an example together. Alright, so here I have a C value that's negative 12. So I'm just going to list all the ways to multiply to negative 12. So negative 12 I can get to by, well, I'll just say 12 to begin with. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. It's a negative and a negative, so I have this situation. My larger factor has to be negative, so let me put a negative sign next to these guys. So negative 12, negative 6, and negative 4. And so now the question is, which of these add or subtract to a negative 4? And it's going to be 2 and negative 6. So I know the dimensions of my rectangle. I know that the side with length 6 is going to have negative ones, and the side with length 2 is going to have positive ones. So here I have my x squared. I'm going to draw my 2 by 6 off to the bottom. I'm not very good. I'll just fix that real quick. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me make sure I'm still on this. I don't want to film this again. Ooh, barely on there. Okay. Alright, there's my 12, and these are all negative 1s. Alright, so coming off of this are going to be my negative x's. Which means all these are going to be my negative 1s. And then my x. And coming off of this are going to be positive x's. Which means these have to be positive ones. So I can find my side lengths very easily. This is going to be x minus 6, and then this side length would be x plus 2. So here's how I draw a rectangle when I have one or more negatives, a b and or a c value being negative. So again, we figure out what numbers multiply to the c value, figure out which of those numbers add to the b value, and if you have this possibility, the factors are positive and negative, the larger factor is positive. If you have this possibility, both factors are positive and the factors are positive and negative, and the larger factor is negative. If you have this possibility, both factors are negative, and they will add, they will multiply to the positive and add to the negative. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Again, I hope everybody is doing okay out there. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.